Your head is one of, if not the most important part of your body.
Pause.
And yes, the one on top of your shoulders. Reason being is it houses all of your gray matter, so no matter how smart or dumb you are, you're gonna need that in order to function. And while your skull does a pretty decent job at protecting it from projectiles and impacts on a natural basis, you're gonna need a little extra material in order to get full protection. Professionals all across the world, such as sports, search and rescue, law enforcement, military, they all use helmets to protect themselves and carry the gear that they need. So as a professional civilian with a defensive mindset, it is definitely in your best interest to acquire a helmet of some sort and add that to your loadout. So today we're gonna be talking about which helmet you should buy, what benefits they provide, the pros and cons of each type, and how you should set yours up to best fit your needs. Let's get into it. But before we do that, I want to thank the supporters of this channel. Primarily for this video, Hard-Headed Veterans. They provided this bump helmet that you see right here for this video. I also purchased one of their Gen 2 ballistic helmets for the purpose of this video and to get mine set up as well. So thank you, Hard-Headed Veterans, for sending out the product. Also, I want to thank all of you guys for supporting my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. And just make sure that YouTube knows that you guys enjoy watching this material and that their censorship is just unacceptable. Also check out the website defensivesolutions.com, where I post all of the affiliate links for the products that you see in these videos. So if you see something you like, go over there, check it out, pick up some merch while you're there. Thanks for watching. Let's get back to the video. So the first thing I want to address is, are helmets even necessary for the civilian, your average person? I would argue absolutely yes. Reason being, if you take a look at a lot of the professionals out there, whether it's military, law enforcement, football players, hockey players, lacrosse, search and rescue, you name it, everybody has their custom built helmet for whatever purpose that they need it for. Now for us in the Second Amendment community, I would argue that it is your job to become a professional and be a pro at defending yourself, defending your family, your community against tyrannical governments. So if owning gear similar to law enforcement or military is what you need to do in order to protect yourself and carry out the tasks to subvert tyrannical governments, then I would absolutely argue that is a must. Just like the other professions, it is your job to train and acquire all of the equipment needed to carry out the role, which is being a defensive civilian. Now, do you have to wear it all the time like they do? No, absolutely not. There are other methods that are similar to helmets, whether it's the skull caps that you can use for your NVGs or beanies or hats. There are other things that we as civilians need and can use instead of wearing our helmets 24/7, because our job doesn't require it. When we're walking down the street, walking our dog, we don't need to be rocking a bump helmet and NVGs. Would it be cool? Yeah, it'd be pretty sick, but we don't need it. So having one as part of your arsenal, whether you keep it in your car or it's in your bedroom by your nightstand, whatever it may be for you, having one available at your disposal is a must in my opinion, because it provides so many additional capabilities and additional protection and not a whole lot of drawbacks, which we will talk about. So with that being said, what are the primary roles of the helmet itself? Obviously, protection. Some helmets offer more than others, and even in a professional sense, whether you're riding a motorcycle, you're on skis, or you're playing a sport, a helmet provides a lot of impact protection and it can actually save your life. So no matter what helmet you go with, as long as it's rated for certain levels of impact, it's gonna protect your head against that. Additionally, for ballistics, there are all sorts of different ratings, especially with the new RF ratings that just came out. They have different levels of ballistic protection, but to some extent, they do protect you from projectiles, whether it's frag or a certain type of ammunition. So that's obviously the first and foremost benefit and role of a helmet. Secondly, carrying all your gear. Night vision goggles, comms, marking equipment, anything else, tasking lights, anything else that you might need to attach to your head that you either can't or don't want to carry on your belt, your chest rig, your plate carrier, in your pockets, whatever it may be. So carrying those night vision, carrying the comms, having your IFF marking, which is identify a friend or foe, and then any tasking lights or flags that you may want to wear, whatever else it may be, a helmet allows you to carry all of that stuff in a very compact way right on top of your head. So now that we've laid out the primary role and benefits of having a helmet in your loadout, we're going to talk about the different types of helmets that exist. First and foremost, obviously, specific role type helmets such as motorcycle helmets. So these provide the same benefits as these tactical type helmets. Obviously, impact protection, protecting my eyes against whether it's debris or the sun. These are transition lenses, so they change with the lighting conditions. And also carrying my comms. So this is a Sena 30K, same exact idea. I'm carrying my comms, whatever equipment I may need to execute that task, which is riding a motorcycle, and then impact protection, which could save my life. Additionally, you can think of ski helmets as another similar type role. Carrying my eye protection, so again, blocking the sun or blocking debris or snow from getting in my eyes. Having a GoPro mount on top so that I can mount a camera. And then some of them even come with speakers on the inside to listen to music or to be able to plug in your phone. Tons of different benefits to having a helmet. So you kind of get the point here, but I'm gonna go through the tactical style helmets that I have. First and foremost, we have a airsoft replica of a OpsCore fast type helmet. Obviously, this thing is a piece of garbage in terms of impact protection and ballistic protection, but it does allow you to execute a lot of the other benefits of having a helmet. So if you're on a super low budget and you just want to train, or you're running some milsim events, this is a great option, under $100 usually, completely plastic and doesn't provide really much impact protection at all. I mean, a little bit, but it's not rated to, drop a cinder block on your head. I'd probably replace the shroud as well, but at the same time, you have the ability to carry night vision goggles here, and you can carry your comms, you can carry any sort of IFF marking or task lighting, and this just kind of gets you into the world of helmets and what they can do for you. So it's a great option on a budget, taking it to training, taking it to milsim events, force on force, that type of thing. It still has benefits, but wouldn't necessarily recommend it because there are better options out there. Next up, we have a bump helmet. So this is the Hardhead Veterans bump, and this is kind of a step up from your fake airsoft style helmets because it does provide a little bit more impact protection. It has a better padding system on the inside and suspension system, depending on which one you go with. They're typically a little more comfortable and form-fitting to your head, and you can just trust them a lot more. I trust this shroud way more than I trust that. So I'd be very willing to put night vision on this night vision shroud right here. I also can kit it out with whatever I need in order to train properly. So lots more benefits to the bump than the fake airsoft models. Additionally, you are saving a ton of weight going with a plastic model versus ballistic. It's significantly lighter, but the problem comes when you mount night vision is that's going to be very front heavy and you're going to need to mount a counterweight anyways.
Dude, it does need like a little bit of a counterweight, or I need some more padding or something. All right, here we go.
So kind of a moot point to me because I'll take ballistic protection with a little bit of added weight any day than adding weights on the back of my helmet just to counteract the night vision. Also, there's a lot more airflow with these. Typically, there are a ton of vents here that you won't see in ballistic helmets. And then just in general, it's probably gonna be a lot more comfortable to wear over the course of a couple hours. However, with the Hardhead Veterans bump in particular, I have found that I actually don't really like their suspension system all that much. And the reason being is, you can see here, there's no BOA system. Now, granted, they do have other models that come with that system, similar to the Team Wendy style or OpsCore style helmets. But since this is kind of the cheaper end model, it has sort of like a buckle system back here that you have to remove the pad, adjust the buckle to your size, and then put the pad back on. It's just kind of a pain, but it's kind of a set it and forget it. Once you get it to your size, you're pretty much good to go. What I do really like is their magnetic clip here. It's super easy to release. As you can see, I just did it with one hand. And then also to clip back on, it just grabs itself. I didn't even have to attach it there, and it's good to go. So there are some pros to this helmet, and it's another option for you. Lastly, the ballistic helmet. There are a ton of options on the market for the ballistic helmet. This one is a Hardhead Veterans Gen 2. And what's special about this one is there are OpsCore style arc rails on here, as well as a Team Wendy suspension system and some additional aftermarket padding on the inside. That's just something to note. We'll talk about the particular setups here later. So, benefits to the ballistic helmet. Obviously, added ballistic protection. I believe the Gen 2s are level 3A, if I'm not mistaken. The ballistic helmet industry has been changing a lot, and OpsCore has come out with some new RF3 level ballistic protection, which is fantastic. You know, it protects against a lot more additional potent rounds out there. But the Hardhead Veterans Gen 2, all the protection that I need personally against pistol rounds. It also provides protection against impacts. And then, as you can see, it carries my comms, my marking equipment, and my NVGs. So what are the pros to the ballistic over the bump? Since we already determined the bump is probably a better option than the fake airsoft models. You get that added protection, already talked about that. Additionally, the weight and balance is a lot more, it just feels better on the head. It's a lot more logical because when you add the night vision to the front here, you only need to add a little bit of weight on the back, or if you're running a battery pack, you might already be pretty well balanced. And the trick here is to kind of put your fist underneath the helmet and see if it stays upright. If it tilts forward, you need a little more weight in the back. If it tilts back, you need a little less weight in the back. So the weight distribution is a lot better in my opinion, which makes it more comfortable to wear over the course of hours or, you know, a whole training night or something like that. The cons are, it is a little bit heavier, 2.5 to 4-ish pounds for ballistic helmets. It's kind of the standard nowadays. But like I said earlier, when you add the counterweights to the bump helmet with the night vision, it kind of brings you up to that weight anyways. So that's not too much of a drawback in my mind. And then lastly, just heat ventilation. There are no ventilated ports here. I have worn this in the summer and it's not that big of an issue to me. So again, a lot of the cons of having the ballistic helmet don't really deter me from owning one, and this is my preferred choice of the three in terms of style helmets. Obviously, the last pro and con of each one is cost. So like I said, this is gonna run you super cheap, just gets you into the world, gets you training, gets you moving, practicing on the whole helmet system. These typically run 2 to 3, maybe 400, depending on which brand you go with. And then ballistics, I bought mine used for a pretty good deal at around 650 bucks, but you can also go all the way up to $3,000 with OpsCores or 2,000 with Team Wendy's. So it really depends on the company and the ballistic rating that you go with. Another consideration for the type of helmet that you go with is the features that it comes with. So as I briefly mentioned with the Hardhead Veterans bump helmet versus my personal ballistic helmet, there are different proprietary accessories. So the Hardhead Veterans has like an M-LOK style rail system on the side. I know Team Wendy has their own proprietary system. OpsCore's got something different, so it changes from helmet to helmet. This airsoft one is a OpsCore replica, so it's got a fake arc rail on the side there. But something to consider is the features and accessories that they all come with, and that might sway you one way or another. For me, the personal helmet that I acquired is a Hardhead Veterans helmet itself, but it had OpsCore arc rails on the side and a Team Wendy suspension system, which is, in my opinion, the perfect blend of all the different accessories. So that is an option. If you were to go with a bump helmet, you can swap out the rails, you can swap out the padding, you can swap out the suspension system. Just make it fit your head, because I guarantee you your head does not look exactly like mine. So obviously each type of helmet has its pros and cons, but to counter some of the pros and cons, you could even go super budget and get a ski helmet, set it up like Lucas Botkin did on the T-Rex video, and drill your own holes for the shroud, set up all of your gear, and just cut corners in ways that you can so that your kit works for you. Every helmet is personalized to the user, so it doesn't really matter what you put on it as long as it's what you need and it works for you. All right, so now I'm gonna quickly go over what I have on each kind of budget tier of my helmets, just so you can get an idea of the accessories that you have available to you. And like I said, what kind of comms you're running, what kind of marking equipment are you running, night vision options, that kind of thing. So real quick, down and dirty, airsoft, nothing really much on here. Have a fake cover, so just to mount patches or whatever I need. I clearly don't use this that much, but it is what it is. It works for what it does, and if I ever needed it to take to a Milsim event or go play airsoft or whatever for training, then I could use this and I wouldn't have to worry about damaging it because it was super cheap. So nothing much on there, but you could set it up with everything that you normally run to make it replicate your actual helmet setup. Quick thing to note though, actually, just remembered, so the covers and the finishes on each of the helmet, they do make a difference with night vision. So each material has its own IR reflectivity properties. Dirty Civilian made a great video showcasing that. So if you're gonna run something fake like this, just know that it is not NIR compliant and it's probably gonna glow under night vision or under IR light, unlike the other materials that are on these helmets. The Velcro usually tends to glow as well in any patches that you run, but the actual paint finish itself that are on the real deal, they're much better under IR and under night vision. So quick something to note. All right, moving on to the Hardhead Veterans bump. So on here, I have a white and IR light just for tasking. It's pretty flexible on the side here, so I can point it in any direction that I need. Also just got some patches, American flag patches that came with the walkers. For hearing protection, I have walkers, electronic ear pro, mounted via some fake OpsCore rail systems here. You know, this is kind of the budget build, training build that I wanted to make. Tried to save money everywhere I could just so I could have something to run night vision and just do the basics. And that's why I went with walkers, these fake mounting solution here, and then the ProTac light. Just nothing crazy. And then on top, I don't even remember the company of this thing. I think it's Nightcore or Night Eyes or something like that. But this is just a green, red, and blue and IR marker, and it was super cheap. I think it was maybe $20 to $30 or something like that, just to be able to throw on there at night. Only downside is it's super bright, so I actually opt for a glow stick either on the back of my head or the back of my kit, and that tends to work a little bit better, so I'm not blinding my buddies. For the suspension system, it's just Hardhead Veterans suspension system that came with the helmet, as well as their padding on the inside. Padding is not bad, actually. I do like the padding, but not a fan of the suspension system, so that's probably something that I could swap out if I wanted to. But again, wanted to go super budget, so tried to save money where I could, and this thing just works, man. It's really good. It's nothing fancy, nothing crazy, but it's got everything I need on it, and nothing I don't. All right, moving over to my personal ballistic helmet setup. Again, I did purchase this one with my own money. It was purchased secondhand used, but it's in fantastic condition. So that's a great way to beat the downside of cost of ballistic helmets, is just go used. Check out TaxSwap, check out eBay. Wherever you search for your used tactical goods, just take a look on there, see if somebody's selling one for cheap. But that's what I did. This is the Gen 2 in multicam, looks pretty sweet. It's got their Hardhead Veterans shroud on it. Oop, need to tighten that apparently. Also, I have the Peltor Comtac 3s. I think these are actually the SWAT TAC version, so the cable is mounted underneath instead of over the top. But I just routed the cable behind my head and it works great. Again, like I've said a couple times, these ones have the OpsCore arc rails on them so that I can mount my contacts. Which I prefer this system than the M-Lock system or than the Team Wendy, because there's already a lot of accessories out there for the OpsCore helmets. I have my patches that I had in the service, so that's pretty cool. Also, I have the Faro Concepts battery retention system on here just to hold my night vision batteries or hold a counterweight or whatever I may need. It works really well, and it's super slimline. It's just a couple pieces of shock cord and this mounting system right here that goes over the top. And on top you see the IFF marketing system I got here is a fake Hellstar, but that's because I didn't need a real one and they're super expensive. So I decided to save a little money, go with a fake one. Still works great. Still got green light and flashing white. And then if I switch this black switch up top, now it's IR and it works perfect. So decided to save a little bit of cash there, went with a fake one because it still does the job and I don't need a real one. I have a Unity Spark on here in IR only, just so I can mark the back of my head. Again, both of these are super bright, so I'm probably gonna opt for a chem light glow stick in the back here or on the back of my kit, just because it's not gonna blind my teammates as much at night or in low light. And then again, as I already mentioned here, I have the Team Wendy BOA system, which is super comfortable in my opinion, really easy to adjust, and Team Wendy exfil ballistic padding system with a couple extra pads to fit my head. This thing has been super awesome. It's really light, not uncomfortable to wear for hours on end. We did a couple night shoots for the Armasight night vision video and I was not bothered at all. Super comfortable, and I really feel like this is personalized to me. Some other accessories that I like to use with my helmet, I have a 100 Concepts scrim. This just kind of breaks up the physical appearance of the helmet and it really helps you blend in so that you're not just a dome running around the woods. Another keynote though, this will have a different IR appearance under night vision, just like the fake helmet cover here, but just make sure you check your gear under nods and that you're aware of what you look like when you're looking at yourself from the enemy's perspective, right? So if you're gonna be throwing this on, make sure you know what it looks like when it's mounted onto the helmet, but I do think this has a lot of added benefits. So I just keep it in the little battery retention pocket back here and it works really well. Additionally, something I do need to add is a tasking light or some sort of IR light. I have a Surefire Vampire 340 currently mounted to my Cobalt Kinetics, so it's not on my helmet, but that is something I could throw on my helmet with a max mount from SNS Precision. But I also have a headlamp that I can wear around my neck that's red light. So there's a ton of different solutions, and it's not really something that I need at the moment. I don't need an IR tasking light, but would be nice to have on the helmet. So perfectly set up for me, a lot of pros and cons to it, but this is just an idea of what you guys can add to your helmets. And just a couple things, you could save money by going cheap on all your accessories, or you can try and go all out and make it the real deal. But whatever you get, make sure that you do your research and you know what task you need it for. So just like the skiing helmet or the motorcycle helmet, you build out that helmet to fit the task and make it easier for you to carry out that task. You shouldn't be working around your equipment. You should make your equipment work for you. So that's exactly what I've done here, and that is definitely what you guys should do as well. Whatever your end goal is in mind, do your research so you know what you need, and then scour the internet and see if you can find anything used. You can often save upwards of 50% from the brand new price just by buying from somebody else, especially if it's in great condition. But whatever you end up with, make sure you train with it. And that means you could use it in the daytime, you could wear it around your house, in your mom's basement, or you can get out there and shoot and make sure you know where all your gear is on your helmet, what everything does, how to do it with your eyes closed, because sometimes you're gonna be using this in the dark or at night. Get out there, train, work out, stay fit, shoot a lot, do what you need to do to be an asset in your communities. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys have set up on your helmets, and I really appreciate the support. Catch you in the next one.